This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Well, it's good to see people putting beef behind them. N.O.R.E meets with Lil' Kim for the first time since Hot 97 shooting. I noticed that N.O.R.E's been putting a lot of beef to rest lately, especially because he is now media and not just a rapper. He's also a media, so he needs these people to come on his podcast. I'm not saying that's why he did this, but, you know, that's another good thing that could come out of this. So they met at a club since that shooting in 2001. Now, I'll go back and I'll bring some of this back up so some of you younger guys will get why this is significant. But anyways, outside of Hot 97, a shooting occurred and had some long-term friction between both their camps because CNN had done which is Capone-N-Noreaga. They did a feature with Foxy Brown who dissed Lil' Kim on that record, and things kind of got heated between the two crews, and Capone met Lil' Kim outside of Hot 97 and a shooting occurred. I'll get more into that in a minute. But this actually led to Lil' Kim doing a year in jail. But I will get to that, like I said. So Noreaga wrote, "Sometimes in life you got to grow up and grow with the times. This was my first time meeting Lil' Kim since the alleged incident. And thanks to N.O.R.E, we got to speak, kick it, and have a drink. The first thing we did was have a drink and laugh, and I introduced her to my wife, and we all took a pic. We didn't even speak about the situation because there was no need to." And then he bigged up a bunch of people who were there, and then he eventually said, "Oh yeah, and she'll be doing Drink Champs." Okay, so let's get into the history of this. Okay, so the beef with Noreaga and Lil' Kim, right? It all starts from Foxy Brown getting on Capone-N-Noreaga's album, the song Bang Bang, where her verse completely goes at Kim. It starts off with like, "Hot damn ho, here we go again," playing off Lil' Kim on Quiet Storm with Mobb Deep. Then she says like, "You and Diddy, y'all kill me with subliminal shit." And she says, "Please impress me, go back to the freak shit." The whole verse is about Lil' Kim, you know. She says, "You a decoy." Then she says, basically, all she does is suck cock, and then she says, "Let the dude rest in peace and hop off his dick, bitch you." You know, she's basically talking about Big. You know, she just goes in crazy, you know. And then this erupted in a whole beef, and, you know, Lil' Kim came back, and then it erupted to a Hot 97 shooting. Lil' Kim was up at Hot 97 doing a live interview, and Capone and a bunch of people came, and a shootout occurred, which ended with somebody getting shot in the back. And then 4 years later, Kim was sentenced to a year in prison for lying about her involvement in the incident. And they still hadn't squashed their beef until recently, you know? And Capone even took the stand, and Little C's took the stand. I mean, it was a crazy, this is where kind of like Little C's kind of lost his credibility in the streets, because people kept telling him he took the stand, you know, and you know, that was a big no-no, especially around that time. Like, now being real isn't such a, you don't need to be real right now, but back then you had to be a real rapper. You had to appear to be authentic. Now, I'll get a little bit more into the details, and then we can let this be, because these guys did squash the beef. So the detectives at the time of the shooting, they determined that Lil' Kim was inside her limousine when the gunfire erupted outside the radio station where she had been interviewed. And she and Capone were guests of DJ Clue's, because DJ Clue used to be on Hot 97 then, DJ Clue's professional radio. And basically, gunshots fired, and a guy was shot in his back. And they didn't say too much around this time because, you know, it was an investigation. Lil' Kim's management said Lil' Kim and her security had nothing to do with the incident, and, you know, Kim had no knowledge of the argument. And then the words of war between Lil' Kim and Foxy began when the Little C's Play Around track in 1999, A Wonderful World of C's Leo, that featured Sean Combs, Lil' Kim. In the song, Puffy directs the line, "Stop trying to sound like her," at Brown, referring to a rap star on China Doll. And then this erupted into this whole thing. Foxy took offense to that. And then basically she got on the Bang Bang track on Capone-N-Noreaga's album, The Reunion. And She said the lines like, could give a fuck if your album got pushed back, because when we hit the streets, bitch, it's still weak, it still sound lame, and my name's still Rain. And then Noreaga explained their part of the the whole beef was, Fox Kim had beef. Whether we was going to do Bang Bang or not, Fox would have been on someone else's record spitting the same thing. So what I'm saying is we ain't got no beef. We just representing, let the females catfight, and whatever happens, happens. But if she needs us to be in her corner to make sure ain't nobody going to jump in, we'll definitely be there. So, they were indirectly involved in this beef, and it wasn't, they weren't going at her. It was just like Foxy chose to be on. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't go on somebody else's record and do somebody, because it involves everybody on that record, But then Little Kim was indicted for perjury a couple years later because of some testimonies that happened. Little C's took the stand, and I think his when he took the stand, it basically refuted her testimony. Plus, there was footage. There was actual footage of the shooting. So, it showed that a few people lied, and she did like a year in jail for perjury or something. And I think it was also because she didn't give somebody up as well, which was honorable. But Capone took the stand, and so did Little C's. But you kind of have to in that. So a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, can't believe you took the stand." But when these people were threatening you with, you got to take the stand. You don't have to talk on the stand, but you still have to take the stand. And they said the rapper allegedly lied to investigators about her involvement in the shooting, which left one man, Ocasio, shot in the back. The initial police report said Kim was not present when the shots fired in 2001, but 2 days later they determined she was on the scene when questioned by police the following day in her New Jersey home. Kim claimed to have no knowledge of what caused the bullets to fly. And I'm pretty sure it was Little C's testimony. I'm looking here just to double check. But it doesn't really matter. This is all put to bed anyways. But yeah, so they're cool again, and that's good news.